On a chilly September morning, as dawn broke over the city, a sanitation worker named Thomas made his routine rounds. He had spent years working this route, but nothing prepared him for what he would find that day. As he emptied a dumpster in a quiet alley, a faint, desperate cry pierced the silence. His heart pounded as he followed the sound, his hands trembling as he lifted a torn blanket. Beneath it, wrapped in a tattered cloth, lay a newborn baby, cold, fragile, and struggling to breathe. Thomas didn't hesitate. He wrapped the tiny child in his jacket, shielding her from the cold, and called 911. He sprinted toward the nearest hospital, his pulse racing with fear and urgency. At the hospital, the medical team worked tirelessly to stabilize the infant. She was severely dehydrated and underweight, her tiny body fighting for survival. The nurses named her Hope, believing she was meant to defy the odds. News of the abandoned baby spread quickly, touching hearts across the city. Authorities launched an urgent investigation to find the mother. Detective Sarah Lawson took on the case, combing through security footage and witness statements. Near the dumpster, she discovered a torn hospital bracelet with a partially visible name. This small but vital clue led her to a struggling young woman named Lisa, who had given birth just days earlier. When Sarah found Lisa, the young mother was barely surviving, living in an abandoned building, her face lined with exhaustion and despair. Lisa's story was one of heartbreak and desperation. She had fled an abusive relationship and had no support, no home, and no resources. She had given birth alone in a cold, abandoned warehouse, clutching her baby to her chest, fearing she would not be able to keep her alive. In a moment of unbearable hopelessness, she placed her newborn in the dumpster, praying someone would find her before it was too late. Tears streamed down Lisa's face as she confessed, not out of guilt, but out of love. She believed she had failed as a mother and that her child deserved better. But Sarah saw something else, a woman who had been abandoned herself. Instead of pressing charges, Sarah connected Lisa with social services. With therapy, a safe shelter, and emotional support, Lisa slowly began to rebuild her life. Meanwhile, Thomas, the sanitation worker who found hope, had formed a deep attachment to her. He and his wife, Grace, had longed for a child but had struggled with infertility for years. When they learned Lisa was considering placing Hope for adoption, their hearts swelled with hope and uncertainty. They wanted to give Hope the life she deserved, but they also wanted to respect Lisa's decision. After several emotional meetings, Lisa made the most selfless choice of her life. She wanted Hope to have the security and love she never had. In a deeply moving courtroom scene, Lisa gently placed Hope in Grace's arms, knowing she was giving her daughter the best future possible. But this wasn't goodbye. With Thomas and Grace's support, Lisa remained a part of Hope's life, visiting regularly and slowly healing from her past wounds. Years later, Hope celebrated her birthday surrounded by love. She had two families, Thomas and Grace, who had raised her with unwavering devotion, and Lisa, who had found strength and purpose. Hope grew up knowing she was cherished, not abandoned, and that her life was a testament to the power of love, second chances, and resilience. Sometimes, even in our darkest moments, hope finds a way. This story proves that love isn't just about where we come from but about those who choose to stand by us when we need them the most. It's a reminder that even the smallest act of kindness can change a life forever.